The Denver Nuggets just completed the most historic two-series comeback in NBA history. And they did it by overcoming large deficits in most of their wins, attesting to their toughness, perseverance, and above all else, skill. And while it's easy to point fingers at the Clippers, and there are plenty of fingers to go around, I think this was more about the Nuggets' scintillating play than the Clippers team being in disarray. Jamal Murray has officially cemented himself as one of the best point guards in the league right now, and he continually killed the Clippers in the pick and roll from all over the court. While this is a handoff from Jokic back to Murray, they use this action interchangeably with the pick and roll, and Jokic has just enough gravity to keep Zubac from getting in front of Murray, who takes advantage by shielding the ball with his body and finishing beautifully on the way down. The Nuggets wrote their own story titled Lou Will Hunting, and they tried to attack Lou as much as possible. On this drop coverage of the pick and roll, Lou needs to stay attached to the ball handler. A quick jab step leaves him in the lane out of the play for the wide open 20-footer. On this handoff against Paul George, Murray gets in front and tries to seal him on his back. He's allowed to pivot as much as he wants on that left foot, and could have even jumped off of one foot if he wanted, and more Jokic gravity prevents Harrell from being more aggressive to contest this floater. This time, it's Beverley on the ball, and while he does get around the screen smoothly, watch how Murray goes off of both feet from behind the free throw line before Beverley can do anything about it, hitting another floater. This time, we have a total communication breakdown as Zubac drops to contain, and Kawhi is supposed to hustle back into position on Murray. He ends up walking away from the play, and Murray nails the wide open three. And another example of dropped coverage by Harrell gives him some room as Beverley was forced to trail the play by the screen, and Murray just rises up for the floater from three. There is no question Jamal Murray was the key to this comeback from 3-1 by the Nuggets, and I think we need to put him in the conversation for best point guard in the league, considering how immense his skill set truly is, honed by attending camps run by PGC. And you can learn the very same techniques he did by signing up now as either a player or a coach. PGC has fall shooting courses online and in person nationwide. And players and coaches should sign up at shootingcollege.com with the special code BBALL to save 50% off the tuition fee. Their courses focus on increasing your shooting accuracy and range, improve the speed of your release, and most importantly, build and protect your confidence. Click on the link below for even more information and set yourself on a path to becoming a player every other team fears. And with the way Kawhi Leonard and Paul George shot the ball in Game 7, they'd benefit from PGC's training too. And this is one reason why I wouldn't blame Doc Rivers as much as some might, considering how many open shots the Clipper stars missed in the crucial win-or-go-home battle. On the handoff, Kawhi is able to shuck his man, and he makes his pull-up so often it's completely surprising when it doesn't go in. On the quick step-up screen, I like this step back through the legs that left Paul Millsap grasping at air, but Paul George leaves it short off the front rim. You had to know something was up as Kawhi knifes between defenders in this pick and roll, gets the easy layup, but blows it by hitting the backboard too far to the right. Paul George struggled a couple of times on drives when the Nuggets did a good job to continue to contest while moving backwards. PG is trying to initiate contact instead of focusing on finishing, and it led to 2 point-blank misses. The Kawhi Leonard pick and roll skip to PG open for the three is what both of these guys signed up for, but when it came down to it in the first, George cold misses the open shot. Again, when Kawhi misses a mid-range pull-up inside of 15 feet, it is genuinely shocking, and there's gotta be a reason why he finished short so badly. Is it his chronic quad injury? And I get trying to add to a growing lead, but when his teammates were so slow converting to offense, taking a fadeaway from 15 feet with two guys on you is not the best decision. Kawhi and Paul shot one free throw between them, so when they're being blitzed by an 8-0 run here, settling for a step-back 20-footer with 12 seconds on the clock is a low IQ play. Paul George is calling for Kawhi to come screen for him so that he can attack Jokic, but Reggie Jackson butts in, and now PG freelances against Harris. It almost works as Murray blows his coverage on the cutting Kawhi, who proceeds to miss another layup. Granted, it was under duress, but this is Kawhi mother-freaking Leonard here. Late in the third and reeling from another third quarter onslaught, the Clippers offense stays patient and finds Kawhi open when his man had to bump down to Harrell. It's a good look, but he misses the crucial shot. And the game was lost in this 3-minute stretch where the Clippers had both Kawhi and PG in the game while Jokic sat on the bench in foul trouble. He gets 2 cross screens, Murray takes a terrible angle, but PG misses this extremely open shot. I like this pistol action, how Beverley gets the screen from George, but turns it around to screen for George. He turns the corner into the lane, but he needed to go off the right foot to throw off the defender's timing. The extra step eliminates a good angle to lay it in, and he blows the layup. With this game slipping away, he sets the pin down for Beverley into handoff. However, when Beverley curls instead to screen for Kawhi, they catch Grant out of position, but Kawhi can't hit the open shot. As the game slipped away, they needed these two to score something, and Beverley generates this wide open look from out top, but it rims in and out. With one last chance to make a run, Kawhi attacks in the open court, but Morris plays the left-right Euro step perfectly with his hands in the air, and Kawhi simply makes the wrong choice of moves, missing badly. And Paul George puts the icing on the cake by hitting the side of the backboard on his open corner 3, and the game was over early. The thing that separates Denver from all the rest is Nikola Jokic. He wasn't a scoring machine, primarily because they doubled him often, but it opened up some of his wondrous passing that continued to confound the Clippers' defense no matter what they tried. He used that same handoff to Murray we saw earlier to get the pocket pass and penetration. Harris has played with him long enough to know when to cut to the hoop, but look at this no-look flip to him, and credit Harris with a nice inside hand reverse. While the double team served to keep his scoring low, look how patient he is, waiting for Grant to keep cutting, but why Kawhi let him do this is beyond me. More uncharacteristic play from the claw. If the rotations on defense were as bad as they were, why keep doubling Jokic? The Clippers continued, and the Grant cut sucked in Lou Williams, while Morris is 3 steps late recognizing what happened, and Gary Harris makes him pay. Having your center be able to bring the ball up like a guard is a huge advantage, allowing his shooters and cutters to get into position early. And when a double team comes when he turns his back, again Kawhi doesn't rotate in proper position, allowing Harris to hit this gorgeous reverse. Because this ball screen is set right in the middle of the floor, it's a little hard to tell who is the weak side help. Normally Green would come over, but I don't mind PG doing it because he's got an extra teammate on the right side. Good disguise where he's throwing it, fooling Kawhi into walking towards the wing instead of all-out sprinting, where Harris extends the lead. The Murray-Jokic pick and roll again causes the wrong rotation out of the corner. This is Kawhi's help, not George's. That would have enabled Green to stay home on the wing and prevent this 3-ball from going in. With Kawhi guarding Jokic, they play him like a guard coming off the pin down. Green is supposed to help the helper by bumping down to the cutter, but it's too late. Jokic is slicing them up and the end is near. And to tie a bow around his performance, at the end of the third, they post him up against Harrell on the left block, and when PG turns his head, Jokic throws the mini lob for the perfect layup. In the end, the Clippers were no match for the Jamal Murray-Nikola Jokic tandem on either end of the floor. And when you throw in an all-time bad shooting night for both the Clippers superstars, then you have to imagine the basketball gods had other plans in mind for Doc and company. Well, I think his job is safe. Not many players in the roster are, I suspect, and they'll have to accept leaving the bubble and watching the conference finals at home. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more playoff breakdowns coming up. We'll have at least one a day during the postseason, so turn on those notifications so you can be alerted right away. You in?